And now, coming to you from the Pensado Media Center, powered by Westlake Pro.
Strings and things. You will meet an absolute master of the space. Gear Expo Nashville coming up. The Blackbird Sessions with the Master Blaster coming up. Boston to Brooklyn coming up. Pensado Awards show links so you can watch. It's coming up. There's a brand new ITL coming up. Coming up is what we do. You're at the place. It's Pensado's place.
Yay.
Here we go.
Man, every day I get closer to landing again after the award show. I'm still about 20 feet off the ground. Yeah,
I'm a little floaty. Yeah,
it's starting. Reality's starting to set in.
Yeah, and we're back.
And Nashville's starting to set in. Can't wait.
Here we go. Shall we get to it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey, home team, so great to be in your stead for another week. We thank you, as always, for your likes, subscribes, and the support. Our other incredible sponsors, you know them, the Blackbird Academy, Vintage King, Avid, Lander, DTS, Fab Factory, your spot, Recording Connection, and Studio 202 DC. As we mentioned, lots of stuff coming up. Grab your calendar right now, if you would. We'll hold for a second. Hey, you in Scotland, get your calendar. We're waiting. Wait, got to be quicker than that. Okay, here's what's going on. We will officially launch next week, but here's a little scoopy scoop on what's coming up. You can get a Nashville twofer. Gear Expo Nashville is October 22nd. I'm busy cooking up the gumbo right now with Chevy and the infamous Stephanie Spitfire Willis. I think you want to go to this one. I want to go as a fan. I'm super excited about it. If you're a songwriter or an artist or a producer or an engineer or a student or an aficionado, you're going to want to be there. We're going to have super hot audio talent, a lot of legends. You know we have gear. You know we do a bunch of giveaways. This one's going to be probably the best one. Beer, fun, education. Sure.
Have you never topped yourself on anything we've ever done? Short answer. You always top yourself, so this will be the best. I guarantee it.
It's a weird affliction. It's kind of like a meth addict or something.
In gumbo world, I guarantee it.
Guarantee. So this is our fall outdoor block party. You want to be there. Do not miss. That's October 22nd. Official launch next week. Then on October 24th through that following week, the Blackbird Sessions featuring the one, the only, this dude. Professor Pensado will be in the house at the famed Blackbird Studios for a full week. I'll be speaking as well to the outgoing class that Friday and the incoming session class that Monday. Excuse me. It is let me tell you what this is. It's a full-on jump start to your dreams and your aspirations. You're going to literally hear from one of the best who's ever done it. You're in a studio temple that is one of the best of all time. It is a weekend and a week of access to superstars, super learning, supercharged experience, and guess what happens? You will emerge a superior you. That is our gift to you. That is your gift to yourself. So take advantage of that week. It's a big thing. For Gear Expo Nashville, go to thegearexpo.com. You see that URL right here. For the Blackbird Sessions, go to the Blackbird website or email karma@theblackbirdacademy.com. That's karma, car as in what you drive, C-A-R, ma as in your mother, ma, C-A-R-M-A @theblackbirdacademy.com. See what part of that you want to get involved with. It's going to be an absolute ball. So we're looking forward to that.
My friend TJ is here from last year's sessions.
See, and
hey, TJ, yell out. Did you like it?
Indeed.
Yell, yes or no?
Yes, absolutely.
So TJ is yelling, indeed I did, absolutely. We also had another couple at the award show who drove out that we're giving advice to. So it's
cool.
Something that once you join, it continues.
Yeah, I love it.
It's absolutely cool. So as Dave said, 2 weeks after the award show, we are trying to come down. We are humbled by the reviews. They're pouring in like mad. If you want right now, you can see the sick Phil X performance online currently. He's Bon Jovi's guitar player, and I'm telling you, that place erupted after his solo into a standing ovation.
By the way, you probably didn't know this, but 60% of the guitar players that were in the audience and saw Phil X just quit. They don't play guitar anymore.
Literally, I just saw them leaving because he was ridiculous.
Man. In fact, if you look to the right of the stage, right near the PA, you can see me sneaking and looking at him on the stage.
Yeah, no,
that was
he's
incredible.
He was incredible. We'll have the whole show and links free in about a week. We're scrubbing and getting all that stuff together. And we'll put it up in 2 ways. When we put it up, you'll be able to watch in one big gulp with a Vimeo link, but we'll also cut it up into all the pieces so you can watch it at your leisure. I think you're going to enjoy that. So you know what? Let's meet the hungry Hungarian who's horny for Hattie's hot chicken, right?
Without a flag.
Without a flag.
Oh, look behind you.
Well, I asked for that. So he goes by the name of
We're gonna be eating that soon, Chongor.
I should do the mouth on fire look. I
Yeah.
made a mistake.
Yeah,
I like the peach cobbler as much
well,
as the chicken.
we're speaking out of context. We have to. Hi, Chongor. How are you?
How's it going?
Good. Are you ready for Nashville?
I'm so excited.
Have you decompressed from the award show?
About.
Not quite.
We'll get there.
Give me a sense from your perspective of, I think when we go to Nashville, something happens to us. I'm not, for all the attention that we give and the attention that we get, somehow when we land at BNA and we get into that Nashville environment, what is it that happens to us about that city? Can you identify that?
It's really just a sense of community. You get there and it's just like, I don't know, it's like a second home. Obviously we live in LA, but when you get to Nashville, it just feels comfortable.
I think it's an interesting point. I think I feel the musical community there more than any other city I go to. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, and for me, because I have a long history, back when I was a teenager, I thought about going to Nashville. And Nashville, in the old days, you didn't go to Nashville, you had to be invited to come to Nashville.
That's right.
So I'm still got a little bit of that in my head, and the acceptance that we've gotten over the period of time we've been going there, which has been about 5 years. It's just a good feeling.
It's amazing.
Because those are some of the most gifted musicians on the planet.
Ever, any place, ever. So, I think
And it's home to Stephanie, too.
it is the home Spitfire. I think the reason that I wanted to bring it up with you and tell you guys about it, if you get the opportunity to go to Gear Expo, to Blackbird Sessions, even on your own, there's something you're going to derive from that if you care about this craft that is going to elevate your craft. I think we're at our best when we go there. We just love the city. We were invited because of the show, for sure. We get treated well, for sure. But it causes us to make our game better when we go there. So, again, you excited? I can't wait. The Hattie's hot chicken story is simply this. The food in Nashville is insane. Chongor is a risk eater. He's like an extreme eater. So there's 2 things you don't want to do. You don't want to pay for anything with Chongor. I am filing for bankruptcy tomorrow because taking him to lunch is, particularly for sushi. There are oceans of salmon missing in certain oceans.
He's on the environmental watch list.
He is on the environmental watch list. And
Can't fly to
Hattie's
Asia.
hot chicken has several levels of heat. One of them is called Mother Cluckin' Heat. Correct?
Yeah, Mother Cluckin' Hot.
Mother Cluckin' Hot. So Chongor, now the normal stuff
It's hot.
mild is hot. Chongor decides, Mr. Macho, I'm gonna have Mother Cluckin' chicken. He got 1 bite down. By the second bite, his lips exploded into redness, and he couldn't even put them together. Was going, I think I made a mistake. So we're throwing milk and water at him, but we're also laughing at his ass because he went in. So we will report to you the chicken updates as they come up. I'm sure there will be more.
Chicken Watch
Correct?
2016.
Yeah. Back to the Blackbird Sessions really quickly. October 24th, I think, through the 28th. You do your thing. It is not only a deep dive into technical stuff, there's a deep dive into philosophical stuff. You really impart your Daveness to the
Try
folks.
to, there's so many things that are kind of ephemeral and fleeting that you can only absorb by seeing other people do it. So the recording, we do that. We show you mic technique.
Because you actually
how to
record a band.
Yeah. But you're privy to how I orchestrate the room to get good performances and the timing of all of that. It's not. I'm not bragging, but I learned it from guys like Ed C. Watching them, And so I'm passing some of that on to you too, that you won't get anyplace else, I promise you. That's not arrogance, that's just fact.
And you get to be a little bit arrogant about it. I've watched
Well,
it.
I didn't invent it. I ripped it off from the people that shared with me.
Well, we all rip everybody else off. So I think there's a young web show coming up called Something Else Place. And they're gonna rip us off. If you get a chance, do Blackbird Sessions. If you get a chance, do Gear Expo Nashville. We want to see you there. In our ITL bag, we got good stuff in it?
Yeah, I found something on Groove 3 that I liked that I wanted you guys to check out. It's Reverb for vocals that I thought had some neat little things in it.
Cool. Let's roll it.
So we've got our ambience reverb set up for the vocals. We're going to set up our principal reverb, and then we can mix and match the two to taste. Now, to start with, the lead vocal is the most important track in the whole song, so I want to really focus on this for now. So what I'm going to do is work on this one, and I'm going to take away this vocal verb assignment here, and what I'm going to do is assign it to a new track, a new through track like we did with the snare. So I'm going to create a mono track. I'll call it through lead vocal. And in this case, I don't mind having it right next to it, and I'm going to have it snap to unity gain like that, and I'll have pre-fader send so we know we're sending a consistent level there. So now I have the vocal signal arriving here, and as we did with the snare, this ultimately won't be routed to the main output, but I'm going to leave it there for now just so we can audition what we're doing. So let's solo this as well. And what I want to do is this. I want to have one main reverb for all the vocals, and I want to have no or very little pre-delay on it because all the backup vocals, I want them to sound fairly far back. Remember we spoke about how adding pre-delay to a signal going into a reverb makes it sound more up front because we hear the dry signal first before the reverb kicks in, or we hear those early reflections first. And when there's no pre-delay, it pushes it a bit farther to the back. So what I want to do here is I have one general reverb for all, and I want no pre-delay for the backups, but I do want some pre-delay for the lead vocal because I want it to stand out a bit more. So what I'm going to do is on this channel strip over here, I'm going to add a delay in here so that I can delay the signal being sent to the reverb. So in effect, I'm creating manually a kind of pre-delay feeding into the reverb while the others won't have that delay and they'll get treated without any pre-delay. So to start with, I'm going to call up a delay plugin. Now I could just call up a simple mono delay, set and offset, and be done with it. But why not take advantage of this extra stage of routing and maybe try some creative possibilities? So what I'm going to do is a mono to stereo delay. I'll use a medium delay, mono to stereo, and I can have different delays on each side, and we can really get creative here. What we can do is use this to actually generate some delays, have some feedback, and feed that into the reverb, and I'll show you how to do that just to show you how it's done. I don't think it'll work particularly well in this particular piece of music, but let's look at it. So for now, let's just call up a default preset here. I'll call up a 16th note delay, let's say a ping pong delay. And let's just hear what that sounds like.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart.
And let's have a bit of feedback so we can get some extra delays generated.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart.
Now this will work well on a song that has a kind of sparse vocal. This song has a lot of backups and a lot of harmonies, and we don't really need this effect, but again, just to show you how it's done. So now I'm going to take this out and have no output. And I'm going to send it now to the main reverb, the vocal reverb. Let me close this for the moment. And I'm going to put it in the second slot here just so we're all consistent and have our main vocal verb sends from the second slot. So let's assign this now to our vocal verb. And I'll just snap it up to Unity just for now. We probably wouldn't need that much. And our main vocal verb is over here. And let's call up the impulse response reverb, or the convolution reverb rather, the waves IR1. Because again, I want to have my strongest reverb on or my most powerful reverb on the vocals. It's the most important element in this kind of pop mix. And again, let's load in a custom IR. And I have some other shareware ones. And I have a plate here that I like called Vocal Plate, 1960 Vocal Plate. And I'm going to up the time a bit. Let's try it like that. So let's just hear what this sounds like to start with.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart, down deep inside,
And I'll mute this.
a love for you.
So now without it, we'll hear the lead vocal getting fed directly into the reverb.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart.
And now with it.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart.
And we adjust the amount getting sent to the reverb either from the send here, which is this one, but I can also adjust it just by means of this fader here. Since it's not feeding the main output, it acts as basically a send level.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart, down deep inside, a love for you that I gotta hide.
So that's one way of doing it. So what I'm going to do now is bring back the output 1, 2, and let's mute this for the moment, and let's just focus on this delay again.
What you can't see.
So what I want to do is set no feedback. I want to set these fairly tight, but I am going to try a different one on the left and right side. Again, I don't want it too wild because we do have a busy vocal and it's a relatively fast tune. There's a lot of other instruments happening. So let's set some tight delays. I want to have about 35 seconds or so, a little more, 38. Again, this ties in with the delays that are tied to the tempo of the piece. 100 beats per minute works out to about 75 milliseconds for, I think it's the 64th note. So again, it don't have to be exactly accurate, but around that, and about half for this. So let's hear what this sounds like.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart, down deep inside, a love for you.
So it's a subtle delay, but it's enough to help it stand out from the backups. So again, let's bring this out of the main outputs and bring this back, and let's listen.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart, down deep inside, a love for you.
All right, so that's sounding nice. Again, it's subtle, but it's adding pre-delay where we won't have any with the rest of the vocals. Let's listen to this in the whole mix.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart, down deep inside.
All right, that's working nicely. So now let's work on the backup vocals. So I think what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to assign it from the vocal bus. And by assigning the send from the vocal bus, basically the levels and panning of all these will be respected in what's getting sent to the reverb. So let's solo all these vocals. And I'll hit Option, Shift, and Solo button. And now I'll unmute that one. Let's call it up. And again, I'll send Unity. We probably won't need that much. I can adjust the levels. And let's listen.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart, down deep inside, a love for you.
I'm just going to move this over. I like having the vocal ambience first. When you have a big session with a lot of tracks like this, it's nice to have them set up the way you like.
'Cause in my heart, down deep inside, a love for you. But I gotta hide. He's got you.
Let's hear it without the ambience.
He's got you. He's got you. He's got you. He's got you. He's got you.
So again, I need less of the ambience mixed in so we can mix and match the two reverbs. Let's listen to the full mix with everything now.
What you can't see, 'cause in my heart, down deep inside, a love for you.
There's none of the dry signal. We're hearing some of the drums because the drum verb's getting routed to the main output.
He's got you. He's got you. He's got you.
So you hear the effect of that.
He's got you. He's got you.
So there's a general reverb that'll work for the vocals. We can tweak it some more, and we will in upcoming videos, but we have nice control here of running these in parallel so we can mix and match the levels of the ambience verb and the main longer reverb. Stay tuned, see you for more in the next video.
Literally one of the most enduring and incredible careers. You're going to learn about longevity and how to make your career apply in a number of places. His contributions are just legendary. This guy goes from Quincy Jones to Ty Dolla Signs, Justin Timberlake to Earth, Wind & Fire, Michael Jackson. I worked with him at Solar. He is as relevant today as he was back in the day. It is our pleasure to welcome to the place composer and string genius, just general genius, Mr. Benjamin Wright. Brother.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, man. Listen, I have got paychecks because you put strings on songs that sold well, I thank you for that. This guy's gift.
Well, I take credit for all the strings I mix for him.
No question, no question. But isn't it amazing how his career is so relevant today as it was before?
More so.
Yeah.
And actually more timely relevant, too.
Fire away, sir.
So a little footnote, I'm going to call him Mr. Wright intentionally. He told me to call him Benjamin. So, Mr. Wright, define what a string arranger does for some people that might be just falling out a
Go
bit.
crazy, number one. Generally, as you know, and I have to say, I'm so glad to be here. With cats my own age. Thank you.
Did he just insult us?
No, he called you Mr. back.
Remember, I'm older.
That's a black way of saying Mr.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get something in, and a lot of times it's, we want you to do strings on this. Well, wait a minute. I don't just do strings, okay? But I listen, and sometimes I'll say, well, I don't think this needs strings.
Wow.
And that's heavy because I got a lot of children.
Right.
I need the money. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty true.
Yeah.
To whatever because a lot of times strings might decode the funk that's already there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But then I listen and say, okay, yeah. Well, I'm listening to the product that you gave me to determine what it can be versus what it is.
Yep.
So then that puts me in a real creative thing, and I have to share this. I'm so old school and so spiritual about it.
Yeah.
That I pray. I always ask God to guide my hand. And when I get to the studio, I'm not arrogant. It's just that I know who wrote my charts.
And it doesn't get better than
And
that.
I ain't worried about it.
Right,
It's
right,
okay.
Right. You know who you remind me of? Sorry, I didn't cut you off, but I've heard a version of that from Quincy. And my dear sort of spiritual brother that I spent time with, I heard a lot of that from Maurice White.
Oh, yeah.
And it taught me to let go and let that process happen to you. And it's amazing. And what I think is amazing about you, because I've been aware of you for such a long time, as Dave has, is that when Ty Dolla Sign comes to you with all the pressure on him and how current and hot he is, they're letting go of that and saying, put your thing on it.
Yeah.
Right? Do they give you that room because whatever your input is, you're coming with stuff that's so significant that nobody can mess with that, right? You're left alone to do your thing, pretty much?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Nobody tells me what to write.
One of the things
You and Jesus.
Hello.
One of the things about Mr. Wright's work that I like is most string arrangers are too tethered to the classical world. Well, Mr. Wright left that in the back lot.
Never
he
known
can
it
do
to be there.
classical, but he gets a little bit of blues, Mississippi rhythm, everything else, and classical in his work. So his work fits the song.
Always.
It's not a superimposed brute force try to get some classical show-off shit on the track.
Right.
And that's what I love about your work, especially the work you did on 2020, Justin Bieber's album.
Can I add to that, too?
Yeah.
You have, and I've worked with Claire Fisher and I've worked with other folks. You have an ability to have your strings be so authentically strings, but such an augment to the funk.
Wow.
Well,
Right?
his strings are rhythmic, and nobody else's strings are rhythmic. They're always lazy.
You make a funky song stink. Literally.
Thank you.
Is that a space that people look for you to add in on stuff that's got that? Because you can do it all. I've seen on ballads and other things too.
Well, once again, they just give me the product.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And you do you.
Yeah, and I'm most appreciative of that because it allows me to just be me. Okay, and as I say, you know who my ghostwriter is. That's my Lord and
He's a bad
Savior.
boy.
Okay, now I have to look at it, all the music in the world, comes from 5 lines and 4 spaces. Okay?
Preach.
And people need to know that it's not but 12 notes in the whole universe.
Right. Right.
You know. So in that, you know, so what kind of music you do? Generally, I say good.
That covers it all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, you know, if it's like jazz, blues, country, whatever, I don't address that. Okay? I'll give you an example. You know, go to the piano. So hit me a gospel C. Okay, play me a rock and roll C. Funk C. Classical. Same note.
Same note.
So I just do music.
It is.
Your
it
sense
is.
of rhythm, though, is
Yeah,
defines the
your
song.
your signatures
You're
are
not lazy.
Yeah, and there's God, I'm because it's reminding me of all the records that you've touched. That there's so many that people know. Tell me how the root learning is important to you. You learn analog. We talked earlier about pen to paper and how those basics. And now that you have technological tools, you found the balance between the use of the tools, but it starts with the original stuff you've learned. Is that how your process works?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. As I said, I'm so happy to be here because I'm with cats my own age. You don't hear me. Okay. I'm one of the possibly few cats still standing that did 4-track recordings with orchestra.
With an orchestra.
Yeah. So
Wow.
when the saxophone player over there messed up,
Right.
everybody looked at him
I wanted to whoop
because
his
it meant that
behind.
we had to start over.
All over. Right.
You know, and then okay, I'm talking to Mr. Everything in terms of engineering here. We graduated to we didn't have
Eight-track.
we
You went to
didn't
eight.
we didn't have so-called punch-ins.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So we say run it back, and we'll splice it in. So,
Literally cut the tape.
yeah, just run it back a little bit. Okay, we got the same tempo. We call it intercuts. You haven't heard that in a while.
No.
Intercuts. Boom, boom, we're in. So that meant like when we leave, you get the razor blade.
That's right.
Damn, that was heavy days.
A lot of work.
You know. So now the analog thing. That's all we knew. We have digital this and digital that and digital everything now. And some of the young cats, it's like, yeah, man, this is digital. Okay, but the old pros do the digital whatever and can't wait to run it through an analog whatever so that when it comes out, excuse my English here, but you ain't hearing digital,
Right.
you're hearing analog. Well, wait a minute, where did digital come from? It came from analog. So I got all the toys at home, but I'm still old school.
So you use them, they don't use you.
Right.
Yeah. I
Right.
get it.
Guys, listen up.
Hold up.
If-
teach a moment.
If you could only buy one record and go to a desert island on one record, I'd say 67% of the audience would choose Off the Wall Michael Jackson. Probably one of the 5 most important records ever made. You're looking at the guy that did the strings on several of the songs. Rock With You and Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. The string
listen
parts
to it.
on Don't Stop Till You Get Enough are flawless. I mean, I've heard Quincy talk about those when he got asked questions about that song and how it came about.
Yeah.
One of the things that strikes me about the string parts, they're not string parts. They finish the song, and you always come in near the end on a song, and you have to squeeze your work in. But on that particular song, it's a defining moment for for your skill set. It allowed you to show off, but in a musical way.
Let me give you the story.
Please.
I get a call. Benjamin Wright? Yes. It's Quincy Jones.
Of course, you didn't believe
Hold
it.
up.
Who?
Say that again.
Quincy Jones. Right. Who?
But you knew Bruce Swedien at the time.
Oh, I knew Bruce from Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay. Quincy Jones. I never thought. I'm from Greenville, Mississippi, man.
Yeah, say no more.
Okay. American Idol over there. We relate because we from the swamps, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, Quincy Jones calling me.
Right. Right.
So I talked to him, and then I went back to Quincy who? You know. And I appreciate him so much because he was so huge, he understood the impact that he would have on, per se, a younger cat. Okay? So he gave me an address to come to. Bel Air.
His house.
Oh yeah, I'm from Greenville, Mississippi.
Right. You know where Bel
Bel
Air
Air.
is.
I happen to know where Bel Air was, but none of my friends lived over there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
When I first came to LA, first thing I did was I enrolled in the UCLA film school because I wanted to do film.
Sure.
Okay. Now, if you go
What year was that about?
76.
Wow. Early.
If you go west on Sunset,
Yeah. You're.
you make a left into UCLA.
That's right.
But if you turn right,
You
it's a
going
big
into Bel
sign
Air.
that says
Bel Air.
"Welcome to Bel Air."
Sure does. Sure. The big old gate.
Hello.
Yes, indeed.
So I knew where that was.
Yes, indeed.
I get there, and I find the house and Peggy Lipton.
Yep. Answer the door.
I knew
Squad.
Peggy Lipton from Mod Squad, from the TV. So I'm like, yeah, I must be in the right place.
So it was really
You know what I'm
Quincy. That's when
saying?
it started setting in, right?
Go in, I meet Q, man. I'm nervous a whole bit. He made me feel very comfortable. And he gave me 30 days to write. Nobody had ever given me 30 days to write. Now, for 28 days, I didn't know what to write because this is Quincy Jones. I'm familiar with Quincy Jones.
Right.
And Count Basie and all of that, you know. And,
Duke
it's
Ellington.
my party and I
Yeah,
cry.
Leslie Gore.
I knew all of that.
Yeah.
That was
okay?
his first production.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So now
Leslie Gore.
I could hear the Lord talking to me. Yo, Benjamin, you know, you got a session in a couple of days.
I thought the Lord called you Mr. Wright.
No.
Only you.
I had to graduate to that. So, hey, man, nervously I began to write. And I have to be very honest. I wrote what he gave me. Okay? Now I get in the studio. I'm never nervous in the studio. This is my house.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I'm scared to death.
Right.
It's Quincy Jones, man.
Absolutely.
Okay? I'm in there, and somebody say, "Hey, Ben." That's Bruce Swedien.
Your man.
I know Bruce.
Right.
My God, I've done 100 sessions with Bruce in Chicago, Brunswick, and the Jackie Wilsons, and all of that stuff. Q. Ben's here. It's going to be a piece of cake. Oh, my God, Bruce. I don't need no more pressure.
No pressure.
Okay?
Paramedics are outside.
Hello.
now.
But we finally get into the song. You know, all the musicians arrive, whatever. And we run it down. I'm watching Q, the right side, in the control room, and this cat is falling on the floor, man. It's like, oh man, I must really be jacking up.
Wow.
Okay.
Right.
Because I don't know him like that.
Sure.
Okay. So we come after the first rundown. I come in the studio, get some pointers or whatever. No pointers. Okay. Other than Q's like, that's a mother.
I love it.
I'm still scared.
Sure.
You know.
Right.
So hey man, we do the song. Q is ecstatic. So my confirmation that he halfway liked what I was doing, he gave me another song. Rock With You.
Wow. Big records. Incredible.
So that was my blessing.
So now fast forward that experience to Justin Timberlake or Ty Dolla Sign or somebody current. Does the same dynamic happen? Are they, you've come in, you've laid your stuff, they're listening, or do you do it yourself and you send it to them and they put it together and you hear it later?
Well, the Justin Timberlake, the first Justin Timberlake album.
2020.
No.
Oh, before that.
Yeah.
Justified.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
was
Because I did 3. Okay. On the first one, I was there because I did Michael Jackson.
Got it.
And that's how they were looking at him.
Sure.
Okay. But he was so satisfied with it that on the next album, he called. Okay? It's right. Boom. And that turned out very well also.
Sure did.
So I didn't hear from him for a while. He just started doing movies and a whole bit, and it's like, I'm crying, man. It's like, work is tightening up here, you know. Even Justin Timberlake doesn't love me anymore. And I get a call. Mr. Wright, yeah, this is so-and-so and so from Justin Timberlake's office, so-and-so and so. We need you in the studio this afternoon. Huh?
This afternoon.
I'm in Detroit, man. Actually, Herb, I'm there with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I'll be darned.
Because on some of the symphony dates, I get the call to come in and conduct.
Yes.
Okay? So, can say, well, when can you? I'm like, this guy is very aggressively speaking to me. You know?
Right.
Say, man, I'll be back in Monday. Well, can you be in the studio at 10 a.m.? Yes, sir. So I get the studio. There's a lot of young cats in there. And I'm talking smack. Yeah, man, Justin Timberlake don't even love me no more and whatever. And Justin comes in and he's cracking up. And he said, Mr. Wright, you worked on the first album, didn't you? Yeah. He said, now, you worked on the second album, didn't you? Yeah. Where you going? He said, sir, this is the third album and you're here. Excuse me. Say, fuck it, let's go to work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that, the 2020 album, as I began to write, I made some comments. I said, some of the stuff that I'm doing is going to have a major impact on the industry because we didn't have that many records with that many strings on it for quite a while. And God just blessed it again. Because
how big was the orchestra you used for that?
I used 35 strings.
35 pieces.
Yeah.
Wow.
35 strings.
35 strings.
Yeah. And then
Not horns, not
yeah.
just 35. Wow.
The horns, I didn't use but 2 saxophones. I used flutes, trumpets and bones, and French horns. And I needed somebody to do concert cymbals. Not drummer crashing, I needed this.
Right.
And nobody does that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So they ordered them, Timberland ordered them. Okay, I come in the studio, it's sitting there, it's like, okay, where's the player?
Right. Oh, we didn't know we need that.
You the player, Mr. Wright.
Wow.
He say, conduct. Pow! It was a successful album.
Call me next time. I'll get you some more money.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Wright, when you're okay, so you go from Justin Timberlake, you did 6 or 10 songs, then you go to Ty Dolla Sign's Free TC. What's different? Anything at all? I mean, like hip hop is not known to be the bastion of the great string arrangers. What did you do? You had to approach it in a different way, or did you just go to that Mississippi side and get some blues in there?
I didn't have to approach it a different way.
At all.
Just pull some of that swamp stuff out, man.
Okay, I got you.
The thing is, you find that the young cats are listening. And the words that were mentioned was, we need to take it to the next level.
Oh, gotcha.
So, call Benjamin. I'll accept that.
As well you should.
Like I said, I got a bunch of kids, man. I have to
Well,
feed
you
a lot
should.
of people.
Which, by the way, in my record executive days, that was the same thing being said. So that's going from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And it is what I find enduring and amazing when DJ Ali, who's like a little brother, is Kendrick Lamar's DJ, no surprise. When he played me the last Kendrick Lamar record, it was a jazz record.
Yeah.
And he was playing, he was like, man, what do you think? What do you think? And I was hearing jazz records, like,
Terrence.
yes.
Terrence.
The-
Very talented.
Absolutely, and the kind of, and so we often talk to our audience about being this hybrid and paying homage. When you pay homage to the past, you're actually working on the future. It doesn't mean you're going backwards.
Right.
It means you're learning from master stuff and you reinterpret it your way.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what do you like listening to? What music do you like just personally to listen to? When you're chilling, what fills you up and makes you feel good? Or do you just turn music off and do something else?
Gospel music.
Really? So a good praise and worship, and you're there all day long.
I love gospel music.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
And then, a relief for me is I'm the worst basketball player you ever saw.
Yeah, but you love the
But I
game.
love playing.
Love the game.
Okay? And since I don't play well, I'm brutal.
Just hurt people.
Don't come in here.
Just hurt people.
You know what
That's
I'm
a
saying?
Southern thing.
Musicians don't play basketball. We play hackball.
Right.
Because we have to prove to the cats, the real athletes,
Sure.
we ain't no punks.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
So come on in here.
Because every athlete wants to be a musician,
Yeah,
and every
yeah.
musician wants to be the athlete.
We hurt people.
Chongwa, you got some questions over there for our esteemed guest.
We do. This first one's from Brian Michael. How do you determine what combination of instruments you're going to use in an arrangement?
Perfect.
If you listen to the song, in my opinion, the song will dictate what it needs.
So you have to listen to the song, and that information will tell you where to go with what your
Okay?
decisions are.
Because here's the scenario. Something comes in. Okay. First thing the record company want is the budget.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I'm not one of those, in Herb, here you are, you're a master at this, dealing with A&R and the whole bit. Say, what do you hear? Well, some cats say, man, I hear this right here and I hear that right there. I don't do that. I don't hear nothing. Okay? Why? Because you have to take it to the lab and take it apart.
Right. Right.
Every bar, every beat. So you sit in the office and you lie. Oh yeah, I hear strings right here and whatever. But then when the record comes out, there's no strings. Everything you said wasn't there.
You're so correct.
Okay.
So correct.
I reserve that. Okay. And let me play with it. Now listen. I pray on it. And God said, okay, let's go.
Do you? I'm sorry.
Oh no, the reason I was saying that is that's precisely the way the award show comes about for me.
Yeah.
You got to get in it, let it speak to you, marinate,
Hello.
cook it,
See?
sit back.
Plus,
and
you're the master of commitment. You commit.
Well,
early.
I just think I learned what he's learned, that is the way you kind of, we had an Oscar winner named Mark Mangini on about a month ago, brilliant episode. And he said that he accesses his creativity by using acting skills. And when he starts to cry is when he knows he's at that point now where he can go bring it to it. Wow. That vulnerability to creativity and letting it happen to you is generally, in my view, when giants are giants,
It's heavy.
right?
Heavy.
I mean, it's just, whew.
But see, I got a cry thing too, man.
Me too. I hate to
Because
admit it. My
I'm
staff just
writing.
thinks I'm a punk.
Right. See, wow, that's heavy.
Yep.
Wow, I like this. And sometimes my wife might be home, and she'll hear me downstairs. Like, thank you, Lord.
Absolutely. This happens in my house all the time.
Thank you. I'm walking through the house. I'm crying
Oh my God, we're so similar.
because God has given me a line. I know that line is gonna work.
Do you compose at a piano? Do you compose with a synthesizer? Do you compose in your head, or all of the above?
All of the above.
Okay. So you can hear it and write it down, and then sometimes you want to hear it come through the speakers. Is that?
Yeah, I'm not a player.
Okay.
You know, I'm suspect. You know.
But you find your way to your
yeah.
truth.
I can write for the player,
Right.
and they catch hell.
Right.
I can put the notes there because I hear it.
Right.
And how do you know how many pieces to write for? You do that after you're done writing? You figure out the number of pieces?
No.
It informs you.
No, that's as I start writing. You know, I've listened, I've taken it apart. Okay, now I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Gotcha.
Mind you, I said the first thing the record company wants is the budget. So I have to have some kind of idea of how many cats, what the instrumentation is
Gotcha.
to prepare the budget.
Right. Right.
And most times I can stick to what I originally said I needed. Now, let's say right now, you know, budgets are tight, a whole bit. Let's just say strings. Record companies have heart attacks when you start talking about 20, 25 strings.
Yes, indeed. Yep.
Okay? But then, if you want less, as broke as I am, I'm going to tell you to call the guy next door. Why? You call me because of the sound that I've been able to produce.
100%.
And I can't do it with the less people that you're talking about.
100%.
You know, I will forego what my fee is, other than let you cut the instrumentation.
That really sounds like the award show.
Let's edit that part out.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's true.
But that's
You gotta protect your brand.
That's real.
Your signature. Changor, give us another one.
This is from Joey Herrera. Do you have a favorite key to work in, and what were some of the big turning points in your career in terms of something you learned?
Many years ago in Chicago, young cat, rangy. Well, I got to back up a little bit. I got to give him a real answer. Most of my music was correspondence.
By mail?
Yeah.
Damn.
Carl Fisher, Berklee School of Music. In the early days of Berklee was a correspondence school. There was no campus. Okay? And then I was in the military. So they send my lessons by mail. I do them, send them back, and wait for the graded papers to come back. Okay? Now, I always made 100, but it was something I didn't understand, and that was like the violas. I knew the treble clef, I knew the bass clef, but that alto clef,
That still confuses me.
yeah, it's like, well, where did that come from? Well, that's what the violas play off of. Okay? So, man, I'm making 100, but I don't understand. Until I finally got a string job. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Do I really understand the violas? No, you don't. Okay? I get in the session, we play it down, the parts are right. I got attitude. I got this. Okay? But let me tell you, writing, things were happening in Chicago. Donny Hathaway left Chicago. I used to
Donny
copy
Hathaway.
for Donny. Most people don't know that he was an outstanding arranger.
Really?
Long before the record company found out he could sing.
Wow.
So I was his copyist.
Monster keyboard player too.
Okay. Oh yeah. Monster. Okay. So I was gradually becoming the so-called man. Stephanie had his own world. Okay. Tom. Boom. I'm the young cat. Okay. So I had a session, man, and an old trumpet player says, "Let me talk to you, young blood." Okay, I went over, excited for this guy to talk to me, because big time cat. These are his words. "You writing your ass off. You are really writing." Felt good. Then he hit me and said, "But have you ever written a breath mark
They do
Everything
have to
was
breathe.
filled up.
No,
Didn't even know.
no, I never knew Riff Mark. Well, he was really looking out for, because he was a trumpet player.
Sure.
And I'm killing the trumpet players.
Right.
He's playing all over the place. And he says,
Falling out.
young man, music has to breathe. Has to breathe. And I live by that today. If most of my stuff, you don't hear me on top of the singer. Boom, I get out of his way. So and so and so and so is saying something very important, I get out of their way. I create my own space.
If don't stop till you get enough doesn't get out of my head in the next 2 minutes since you said it. The
had about
string
20
thing
of
is
those
driving
over
me
the past
crazy.
week.
Like I want to sing it.
Yeah.
Batter's box. You got. We got like Lou Brock here. Like
know.
just an incredible.
He's competitive. I know. He's
Oh, absolutely, and you are too.
Just a reminder, quick, one word.
All right, here we go. Batter's box. Tee it up.
Piano.
That go.
Ooh, nice.
Timpani.
Harvey Mason.
Blues.
The dad, not Junior.
Blues.
I got a string of cats for the blues.
Well, just tell me what you think of the blues in terms of how it relates to what you do.
I love the blues, number one. In where I came from, that's all it was. Blues.
Trombone.
George Bohannon. Wait, I got two cats in this town. George Bohannon, Dwayne Benjamin, much younger. Got it
Is
going
there a
on.
certain kind of trombone that is better than another?
Well, most cats are playing a regular C trombone.
Got it.
Okay, but you know you got cats on bass bone.
Right.
Several cats.
Right.
C bone, tenor
Got it.
bones.
Okay.
Jazz.
I met my idol, Duke Ellington. I named one of my kids Edward Kennedy Ellington Wright.
There you go.
That was my Michael Jackson.
Hip hop.
String of Cats, Snoop, DJ Quick.
I like quick. All right, I got one for you.
Okay.
French horn.
There's a young lady from USC. Maybe I like her because she's cute. She's bad. She does most of my stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Sample string libraries.
Okay. I don't have one.
Okay.
You know, I got most of the toys, but in terms of the library, I don't even touch it.
That's good.
Okay, Herb, I'm getting beat badly, but I'm gonna go for it anyway.
Okay.
Synthesizers.
I like the Yamaha stuff,
Makes sense.
even though they always jack me up.
We'll call somebody.
Okay, good.
All right. You got to ask the.
you want me to do
ask
one
the-
more, or
yeah,
am I done?
Ask the studio question. If he had to leave the studio, what
Oh,
would he take?
okay. I wasn't gonna ask that one, but if your studio caught fire, what one piece of gear would you rescue? It can't be your dog, your wife, your computer.
It wasn't going to be.
It's a
any of those
hypothetical
anyway.
question.
Okay, if the studio caught fire right now, I'd ask the fireman to help me move my euphonics out of the room.
Oh, your console.
Got it. Got to keep your console.
Yeah.
That's a good man right there.
The fun part about what we do for a living is that we get to interview young masters coming up, medium level masters that are going through stuff, and then every now and then we just get a good old legend in the house. I don't think you guys may understand, and you will if you're lucky, and the three of us are lucky in this way. We're lucky and we've worked hard. When you can sustain 4 decades of musical stuff and be just as current today as you were back then, that is a gift, as he alluded to, that's larger than you, that comes from another place, and your responsibility is to be a steward of it. That's all you can do. You've been given it. and then you have to manage. Would you agree with that?
I agree 100%.
So you just had a master class from a master dude. When Dave and I were your age, we were listening to his strings, and Ty Dolla Signs is using his strings, and Justin Timberlake is using his strings, and his phone is ringing today with current people because of that signature and that gift. It's an amazing thing. You have probably danced to his records and made love to his records, and went to dinner and stuff. And
I
it's
got to
just,
throw one in.
Sure.
I got to throw in.
Please.
And this is to you, Herb. I'm in Tokyo in a master class setting, all international students. And the moderator says, we got a lot of stuff here, Mr. Wright, and we want to play it, and we want to get how you felt when you did this.
Yeah.
So they put this song on. And this song is kicking butt. And everybody in the room knows it. And supposedly I did it. But I can't remember it. Okay?
Doesn't take credit anyway.
I'm trying to buy time because
So you can remember it?
Yeah,
So you can Google it.
They're gonna take it off in a minute,
Right,
Mr.
right.
Wright. So, oh my God, Lord, please tell me what this song is. Dynasty.
I'll be darned. Wow.
Dynasty.
From the Solar days.
Adventures in the Land
Oh
of Music.
my God, that takes me
Okay?
so far back.
All right? And I kept listening. It's like, excuse me, this is some bad shit.
And
man.
you did it.
It's like, oh,
Solar days.
okay, now I got it.
Wow.
And then I commented about it, and I talked about Leon Silvers.
Amazing dude.
Okay?
Basically.
So I'm saying that because you were
We
at
go
that
back.
company. Yeah.
There's a whole lot more you and do with us. We're not going to talk about it
Okay.
now. Masterclass. Dave, take us home.
That was the Red Bull sessions, by the way. Man, where do I start? Please, I beg you. I've asked you this before, but just do this as a favor for me. Google him, Wikipedia him, and just go spend an afternoon with yourself and his music. First of all, it's a lesson in musicality. It's a lesson in what it means to be a true musician. And I didn't have to do a lot of research because I've been very familiar with his work forever. Me personally, two of my all-time favorites, him number one, and right close to him is Tom Bell, and they're very, very different. Tom is a little more Beatles, and Mr. Wright's the more Rolling Stones, and you can learn so much: timing, rhythm, just how to interact with other musicians. Please check him out. Please take it serious and do that for me, and we'll see you next week.
This is what soul looks like. See y'all.